Let's start by reviewing two of the most important and basic rules of differentiation, which are constant rule and power rule. Let's start by constant rule. Constant rule states the derivative of a constant is always going to be 0. And power rule states the derivative of x to the nth power is n times x to the n minus 1 power. Now let's think about how we can use this. First up, y is equal to 9. And what is going to be derivative of y with respect to x? Well, 9 is a constant. It's not something that's going to change. It's always going to be 9. So derivative of a constant by constant rule is equal to 0. So dy dx is going to be equal to 0. Let's try the second one. F of x is equal to pi. What is going to be f prime of x? Well, the important thing to realize here is that pi is a constant. It's not something that's going to change in value. It's always going to be pi. And derivative of a constant, as we've learned, is always going to be 0. Let's try the third one. F of x is equal to x to the 5th power. What is f prime of x? Well, we can use the power rule, which states that derivative of x to the nth power is equal to n times x to the n minus 1 power. Well, in this case, x to the nth power, this is x to the 5th power, so n is equal to 5. So we know derivative is going to be n, which is 5, times x to the n minus 1, or in this case 5 minus 1, which is going to be 4. Let's try the next one. G of x is equal to 1 over x to the 4th. We're going to start by rewriting this as x to the negative 4th power. The reason we rewrote this, the reason we are rewriting this, is because we want to match the format of the power rule, which states that derivative of x to the nth, we want this to be in the form of x to the some power, not 1 over x to the some power, and that's why we rewrote it. Now g of x is equal to x to the negative 4th power. How can we find derivative of this? What is g prime of x? Well, derivative of x to the nth power, in this case n is equal to negative 4, from the power rule is n, which is negative 4, times x to the n minus 1, well, n is negative 4 minus 1, which is negative 4, times x to the negative 5th, and we can bring the negative exponent down, so it's negative 4 over x to the 5th. Let's try the last one. Y is equal to 5th root of x. Well, we're going to start by rewriting this in the form of x to the nth power. And in this case, 5th root is the same thing as 1 over 5th power. So we're going to rewrite this as x to the 1 over 5. Now, how can we find dy dx? Well, in this case, we can use the power rule once again. In this case, n is 1/5. And power rule states the derivative of x to the n is equal to n. In this case, n is 1/5. Times x to the n minus 1 power times x to the n, which is 1/5, minus 1 power. What is that equal to? 1/5 times x to the negative 4/5, which is, we can bring x to the negative 4/5 down, is 1 over 5 times x to the 4/5 power. And we are done.